We just got a pretty big patch with some big buffs and a new Warbond, the Servants of Freedom, with some really cool stuff in it. So let's talk about what's new, what's fun, and what you've missed. As always, like and subscribe down below, but let's jump right into it. As always, there's been some negativity, people who don't think this Warbond looks very good, and I'll be honest, when I first looked at it, I was like, I don't think any of this is really going to be all that good. It might be fun, but I was skeptical. After playing with it though, I was wrong. That's it. I was wrong. I'm sorry. I was wrong. Let's start with the Ultimatum, which is my new favorite secondary. It is like a portable 500 kg. Yes, it has a short range. Yes, occasionally it has duds where it doesn't fully take out enemies, but when it works, oh boy does it work. And if you pair it with a jump jet like I do, be able to just jump right in and completely slam dunk an enemy is an amazing feeling. With only 2 shots, you do have to be a little more careful with it, but paired with like thermite grenades, you just have so much ability to take out big enemies without using a stratagem that I don't see myself putting anything else in my secondary slot like ever right now. Again, it does have a short range. You will blow up your allies, but it is just so much chaotic fun. And if you have access to loot boxes like on Illuminate maps where there's a lot of extra boxes and you can just fire that thing without abandon, it is so good. That alone is worth it for the Warbond. Then we have the Heavy Sickle, and this one, the double-bladed, I was like, I don't know, it's going to constantly hurt you while you're firing it, and what they don't tell you is if you hold down the fire button, it doesn't just constantly hurt you, it sets you on fire and melts you in a matter of seconds. So the sustained fire at first glance is like, well, you can't do that, so fire and burst, and you can do that. Or you can equip the fire armor, and then you're pretty much immune to that damage, and you can fire non-stop. And this gun, I know it's a laser, but it is a laser beam. It is super accurate, heavy damage, takes out entire swarms of enemies. I love it. Now, I know you're sick of hearing me say this. It is not as good as the crossbow, but nothing is as good as the crossbow. So in my last review, everyone told me it wasn't fair to compare things to the crossbow because it was just too powerful. So if we take crossbow off the table, I think this is my favorite primary, again, if there's no crossbow on the table. I do feel that the fire resistance armor is pretty mandatory to get the most fun out of it. Again, you can fire in small bursts and still use the weapon, but it is way more fun when you're resistant to the fire damage. It does so much damage and so much armor piercing. We blew off the side of a Bile Titan and I actually felt like I could reasonably take it out by firing on the open wound with my primary. It was beautiful. Now, the exploding armor, I'm not a fan of, and I'm just not a fan of armor perks that only use if you die. It's the same reason I'm not a huge fan of the perks for like the fire hell pod that only come down when you're crashing into enemies. I'm just not a fan of things that encourage you to use that resource. And again, I'm not saying that it's wrong. I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm not a fan of it. I also don't like that you blow up your allies. It just seems a little too trolly to me. Luckily, none of my allies were using it in this match here, but I don't know. I'd like to see it changed in a way or doing something different maybe. I don't know. I'm not a fan of it. But the looks on it, like the new helmets, look amazing. So if nothing else, grab them for the helmets. I'm actually a fan of, in the Superstore right now, there is a helmet that's just got like a little orange to it, and it reminds me so much of Army of Two. Like it has like that classic look of an Army of Two helmet, so I had to get that. So overall, I don't like the armor's passive, but I do like the drip. Now let's talk about the portable Hell Bomb. I saw a lot of people saying, well, this is useless. Why would I ever use this? Why would I use this? And this is one of those things where, and this is something I've had to learn myself, I don't think it's going to be meta. I don't think it's going to be the most effective stratagem, and certainly there are other stratagems that you can bring that probably do a little bit more than that. However, it's fun. And at the end of the day, that is what matters. But what are some situations where you might use the portable Hell Bomb in? Well, we now have the FRV, so combining it with that would be absolutely amazing. Things like stratagem jammers where you can't call in other stratagems, it would help us deal with that again. And while I'm a huge fan of the Orbital 380 Barrage and Napalm Barrage, they are not always the most accurate, whereas with the Portable Hellbomb, you can accurately take something out if you absolutely need to take it out. Now, I haven't played with it in many matches yet, so there's still some things to be determined. Like, I assume, like other Hellbombs, if it gets shot, it will explode while it's on your back. I don't know if that will actually happen or not, but it seems like on bots that could be a big downer, or maybe it's only if it's active, like if it's inert, it doesn't explode, but it just breaks. I don't know yet. I haven't seen that part in action, but I am saying that it looks like fun and it looks like it will have a use. So I know people are like, oh, well, it's useless. Well, the good news is you don't have to bring it, right? If you absolutely hate it, you don't have to bring it, but I think a lot of people are going to find some fun with it. And that is, again, the most important thing, especially with this Warbond. Is it meta? Maybe not. Is it fun? Yes. The only thing I haven't seen yet is the grenades, the new drone grenades. They look like fun, but I'm hard-pressed to replace the thermite, right? Thermite is so good. I don't imagine that they're going to do that, but again, it looks like it's more fun than it is functional. So if you're watching this video in the future and you have gotten to see those grenades, put a comment down below. How did the grenades turn out? That's the only thing I really haven't seen or heard of anything at all, and I want to know. There's also a new melee weapon in the shop to match. We got, without patch notes, we got a shovel. The shovel is a melee weapon that can also dig holes, and people love it because it makes them feel very Warhammer 40k-ish. I believe that the combat hatchet that was added into the super shop is very similar to the shovel, so less stun, more chop chop. The other big undocumented change you will see here, they added new holes, these holes that Bile Titans can just crawl out of. That was terrifying. And even though I one-shot there with the ultimatum, again, love the ultimatum, I have heard reports that regular unpowerful grenades like a gas grenade will not take it down, that it needs a little more oomph to close that hole, like a 500 kg or the ultimatum. I haven't tested that, but those are the rumors that I'm hearing, so watch out for Bile Titan holes because that's new. So as far as reviewing this Warbond, if you have no other Warbonds, I would not say this should be your first Warbond. I think Democratic Detonations kind of is the standard must-get #1 Warbond, and I still agree with that. But if you have a couple Warbonds already, I would definitely get this one just because of the fun factor. Blowing things up will always be fun. Huge explosions are always fun, and that's what this gives you. Again, you might need the fire armor also to make this work fully, and it is more fun that way. But that's what I think. I think you should get it. If you're on the fence about it, grab it. If you don't have any Warbonds, grab a few other ones first. But this one is definitely high tier, super fun. Play with it. There is one more thing that this patch brought that I tried out in this match here, and that is mines. They buffed the mines in the way that they have a shorter cooldown time, so you can use them more often. They spread out more and have less chance of chain reactions. And let me tell you, I'm still kind of underwhelmed by them. Like, it is nice to have them more often. However, with the decreased chain reaction, I actually saw them not detonating as much as I thought they should. And I did rack up a lot of kills with them. I just don't feel that it was more effective than using like a napalm eagle or an airstrike or a Gatling strike or even like a gas strike. I don't feel the mines really have a place right now. We talked about how if they lowered the cooldown time, people would use them more. I don't know. My allies kept running into them because they're not used to seeing mines. They're stationary, so if you miss or something goes wrong, well, they're useless. And they're just not doing enough damage. Even with the big damage buffs, I saw big guys taking mine after mine after mine and not really bothered by it. So I think the mines need a little bit more to be considered a must bring. But again, it is fun to pair all the explosions together. A couple more little things they did patch. They said that the FRV is more fun to drive. They made some changes to how it's driving, especially downhill. I haven't tested that yet. And they upped the time on gas to 10 seconds to being impacted by gas and change the way that the dog breath drone works. I have seen that in action. I didn't personally use it, but I had allies using it and I could feel that difference. That gas was way more effective. The targeting seemed way better and it definitely stun locked a ton of enemies. So if you haven't watched it, I already put a video up on stink diving. Give it a try. It is even more powerful now and even more fun. So go try stink diving. If you don't have that Warbond, that one is fun too if you want to play a different way. And there you have it, a quick Warbond review and going over the patch that just came out. If you haven't already, get out there, Helldiver. We have more stuff to come. There's a lot of rumors about some new enemies, so expect a new video on that here soon. As always, leave comments down below. Talk about those grenades because I haven't seen them yet. And have a blessed day.